Well, hello everyone and welcome to Moementum channel. My name is Mo, and in this video, would like to provide a quick review of our portfolio, currently sitting at $532,000. We'll also take a quick peek into our Blossom portfolio and the expected dividend income that we have here and how we are tracking, moving towards closer to our target goals there in terms of both the portfolio size as well as the dividend. And lastly, I will be sharing with you the investing portfolio ideas that could give investors, especially those who are interested in stock picking, some ideas of what stocks or ETFs other famous investors, hedge fund managers, and investment advisors are looking into. In particular, we're going to be taking a look at Warren Buffett's portfolio, what specific holdings he has as part of his largest positions. All right, first things first, a quick look into the portfolio that my wife and I have built, consisting at over $532,000. You do see we've kept things very simple. We only have a 3-fund portfolio, mainly consisting of X equity, which is iShares Core Equity portfolio. We have shares of VT, which is Vanguard Total World Stock Index Fund offered by Vanguard. And lastly, we have shares of VTI, or Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. With VT and VTI, they are both offered in US dollars. We are maintaining and holding these two positions in my personal RSP account. The main reason that I opted for these two funds in my RSP as opposed to just holding on to shares of X equity was at the time I was thinking that I would like to take some steps to minimize the impacts of any withholding taxes. As you know, there is that 15% withholding tax when it comes to dividend income from stocks or ETFs outside of Canada. And to minimize that impacts, I decided to opt for these US dollar versions of funds and hold them in my RSP account. At the end of the day, it's up to you to make that decision and do some math and see whether the juice is worth to squeeze. Currently, for our portfolio, our shares of X equity, which is the largest holding in our position, currently about 92% of our portfolio being in X equity, are showing a positive return of 2.1%. Our next big holding belongs actually to shares of VTI. You see around 4.5% of it, and it has the best performance so far with a positive return of 5.9% unrealized. And lastly, our shares of VT accounts for about 3.8% of our portfolio, and with our shares of VT, they're up by 3.5%. Here you do see the entire amount of holdings that between my wife and I we have built. We have close to 18,000 shares of X equity, which is quite a massive number. It actually took us a while to build this portfolio, but we are super proud of it. And you do see how much the expected dividend income is for each one of these funds. I've also provided a breakthrough of where our funds are in between different types of account, whether our funds are in TFSA, RSP account, or non-registered. You see approximately half of our portfolio between my wife and I is allocated to our non-registered account, and the remaining half is divided between TFSA and RSP. Close to 28% of our portfolio is in our TFSA account, and the remaining is in our RSP account. For me personally, I've already maxed out my RSP and TFSA account. For my wife, she's almost maxed out her TFSA, but she definitely has some room in her RSP account that she can continue to contribute to as she earns more income and she decides to invest it in the stock market. Definitely, our picks for now are only these three: X equity, VT, and VTI. I think we are very happy with this approach of more of a passive approach to investing in the stock market, not really having to pick and choose different stocks. Doesn't mean that there's anything wrong per se, though, with stock picking. I know, especially on Blossom, there are so many investors that like to put some portion of their investments into stock picking. They have time, they do the research and really pick the stocks that they feel have a prosperous kind of future, and good for them, definitely. I'm not saying that that's a wrong approach. I think if you have the time and energy and want to really do the research to pick those successful companies, you might actually be successful. Though given the fact that many investors don't have that time or energy, or are not perhaps as diligent to really be able to differentiate between good companies, bad companies, and really be patient with the outcome of those investments over the long period of time. For them, going with an approach of easy passive income investing through like broad market index funds, such as the ones that we have here, could be a good approach to consider. Now, these are not the only ETFs, though, you could consider. There are so many amazing ETFs out there in the market. A while ago, I made a video talking about the ultimate guide to ETF investing. If you haven't checked out that video, I think that would be a good video to watch. It provides you some ideas of what type of ETFs you could consider when it comes to investing, especially if you're a new investor. Moving on, I want to quickly show you the Investing Pro ideas that is available for you. You do notice that there are different kind of famous investors and their portfolio shared here. You can definitely change the filters and decide on which ones you want to look into. For instance, for today, we want to take a quick look at the Warren Buffett's portfolio. Is showing the past 3-year return of up 57%. You can easily copy it if you click on it, and by doing so, you could add it to your own watch list. But hey, in this case, let's just click onto it and see what specific details we have here. You do see that the Warren Buffett's portfolio is based on the filing date of November 14, 2023, based on the SEC reports available for Berkshire Hathaway, and the reporting period ending on September 30th, 2023. The holding summary as a whole, the total value of it is close to $313 billion, which is just massive. You see how those performance of the portfolio compared to S&P 500 over the 1 year, 3 year, and 5 years. If you scroll a little bit down, you do see their largest holding. You can actually sort it out by different pieces, such as the biggest buys, biggest sells, largest market caps, most undervalued, the bullish analyst targets, so on and so forth. You do see that Apple is their largest holding at 50%. Following that, we have Bank of America Corporation, BAC, American Express Company with ticker symbol AXP, Coca-Cola Company with ticker symbol KO, Chevron Corporation with ticker symbol CVX, and Occidental Petroleum Corporation with ticker symbol OXY. I'm going to scroll down so that you can see the rest of these large holdings for Warren Buffett's portfolio. And all of this detailed level of analysis and specifics, plus the different filings, easy access to different filings, reports, and whatnot in different formats is provided to you through this amazing kind of platform that Investing Pro provides. It's offered by investing.com, but you do have the option of opting for Investing Pro for a reasonable price. I believe right now, because of the year end, they have some amazing promotions. You would get some extra benefits if you use the referral link that I have in the description of the video. So I do encourage you to check it out if that's something that interests you. Lastly, I wanted to provide a quick review of my portfolio that I have here on Blossom. You do see exactly the same type of holdings that are showcased here for us. On Blossom Pro, you have the option of setting a portfolio goal. For us, we've set the target of reaching $600,000 in portfolio size by the end of the year 2024. So let's see how that goes. You do see as well the performance of your portfolio over different time horizons, past 1 month, past 1 year, past 5 year. Had you had the same portfolio over those time spans, and we can also compare it to different type of indices such as Dow Jones, NASDAQ, TSX, and S&P 500. On top of that, if you hover over the dividends portion, it does show you as well what's the dividend forecast estimated and how much you can expect to get it. What's your dividend income? For me, because I used to have different types of ETFs, it does show some of those ones on here on this tracker, but currently the amount that you see is slightly higher than the amount that you saw in my own portfolio tracker. The main reason is I think it's just slightly how Blossom is calculating perhaps the expected amount of dividends. And as we know, the expected amount of dividend for ETFs really can differ a little bit. It's not like an exact science. For me, the way that I was looking at it, I was looking at the past 1 year with some estimation. It's interesting that with Blossom, the expected annual dividend income is slightly higher, which I will take it if that actually pans out. That's extra income that we could earn. And for me, how I go about these dividend income, for my wife and I, we reinvest it exactly back onto the same stocks and ETF. And in fact, that brings me to a recent poll that I posted on Blossom. I was asking the community, what do you do with your own dividend income? And so far, based on the 482 votes that were casted at the time of making this video, you do see that a majority of folks, they did mention that they do reinvest it back into the same stock or ETF. Then the next big category is that reinvesting it in another stock or ETF. If you haven't already participated and downloaded the Blossom app, I do encourage you to definitely do so. It's a wonderful community of investors here in Canada that kind of share among themselves different learnings, their questions, their recent trades. You can easily check that out, as well as participate and learn from others through their investing journey. And of course, share your own journey with others accordingly. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. If you did find it beneficial and hopefully gain something of value from it, I really appreciate if you give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone else who might benefit from it. And of course, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Moementum Finance. It really means a lot to us and helps us connect with other like-minded individuals such as yourself. Thank you, and I hope to see you all next time.